So yesterday, I finished my second watch of Code Geass. Uh, it's been a few years since I first watched it. It's actually been such a long time that I actually did not remember everything that happened. So it was like really good rewatching it, and I really enjoyed it. And whenever I first watched Code Geass, I had already said that it was my favorite anime of all time. And I'm pretty sure it still is to this day. I'm currently rewatching a lot of animes, no, not rewatching, but finishing and watching some animes that I've seen clips and stuff of that I've never fully watched. And one of them was Dragon Ball. I finally finished it, and it was definitely like a lot better than some people like try to make it seem like. But I do understand to a point to where yes, some of it is annoying. Uh, but I mean, for the most part, it was pretty good. But Code Geass is, man, Lelouch is definitely one of my favorite characters of all time, easily. And Lelouch is the main reason why the show is so. Honestly, it's kind of Lelouch and C2. They're like the two main reasons why the show is so good. It's not just the plot, but it really is honestly just Lelouch. Like he carries the show so hard that it is actually like wild how hard he carries the show. And I think really the ending. By the way, this is gonna have spoilers to like spoilers. So if you have not watched it, I highly recommend you watch Code Geass very very much. It is absolutely. It's not like a big commitment. It's 50 episodes, so it's not like it's really like super long or anything. If you watch 2 episodes a day, you'll finish it in a month. So you know you could always do whatever you want, but I do recommend it. It is something that it definitely has a lot of like life lessons. It really does have. It just really has a lot of like just good. It's just good. Like I mean, it really is. It's just the way to put it. It's just good. But the biggest part of the show is Lelouch, the main character, and he really stands out among main characters because a lot of main characters they sacrifice themselves in a different manner, and they do it for a different manner. The difference between Lelouch is that he was kind of constantly sacrificing himself. You know, he did do a lot of bad things. Like he really did. He did do a lot of bad, a lot of evil, and even up to the very end, he chose to be evil. But his intent was ultimately to stop the cycle of hatred, to turn all of the world's hatred to him, and then have him die in front of everyone, so that he would, break the cycle. He would have everything thrusted onto him, and ultimately have the world go to be peaceful. And that's kind of, I mean, it's very similar to something in particular. I'm not gonna say that. That would be something I could talk about later. But it really is like it's so interesting at how some shows they have every like arc kind of have its resolution, and then it kind of like has that be its like its own kind of like chapter. Whereas Code Geass, it really does. It's really more so important that every single arc leads up to the end, because the characters develop, the characters change, events happen, and it all just leads to the end. And I think another reason why I like Code Geass so much is because it just really embodies like the things that kind of I believe in, about how sometimes you have to just choose your path and just walk it to the very end, no matter what. You just have to keep going, no matter what people say, no matter what people do, no matter how it affects people. You just have to stick to your guns and just go to the very end. And that really is what Lelouch did. He realized, towards the end, that what he was doing was ultimately wrong. But he said, I mean, I become a demon. I have to finish it. And he does. He really does. Like, he does not hold back at all. To the very, very end, he he literally goes on demon time. And yet it was ultimately for a good purpose, a great purpose. And that goes to show like how people we have to, because this is the thing, is that Suzaku and Lelouch never really had a true genuine conversation. And the one time they did, like the knights showed up, and stopped him. But it was really, nobody really like took the time to actually talk to Lelouch and have a real genuine conversation with him outside of maybe C2. And so, he didn't have anyone that really loved on him or cared for him to the point to where, he never really reconsidered what he was doing, because his focal point was to make the world a gentler and better place according to Nonali's wishes. But, outside of that, he never really had there's no other influence. And so he kind of just had his thoughts, his perspective, and he was so set in that he never saw outside of it. But towards the end, he opened up to more perspectives and he saw things from different viewpoints, and he changed. It was no longer just for one specific thing, but it was ultimately for, he realized how much pain and destruction he had caused, and said, I need to atone, and the way I'm going to atone is I'm going to, sacrifice myself. I'm going to have all of the world's hatred focused on me, and then die in front of them all to, dissipate that anger and hatred to some degree. And that's what he did. It truly is a masterpiece of just, if you're somebody who has the broad perspective, who has the ability to see, just beyond what you can see with your eyes, then you really do get a lot of lessons. You see a lot of things that are just like real life. Some people, they pick their career paths at the age of 18, and then they go for 50, 60 years without anybody asking them a single question about if this is what they really want to do, or if this really where they want to be, or if that's ultimately their goal. And because of that, people mindlessly live their lives and never reconsider any other option. But the moment that somebody does say something to them, it's just like, it's life altering, like the butterfly effect. I mean, a single breath, a single, heavy sigh could cause a hurricane at some point. You never know. There's no guarantee that it will or won't happen. And I think that's what the biggest like focal point of Code Geass is the butterfly effect. It all started with one single event. It all started with C2 granting him the geass. And it's good. It's very good. It's very good. From episode 1 to episode 50, all of it is relevant. All of it is important. All of it has, meaning. Even if the writers may not have intended for it to be like that, it did. And if it did intend it, then bravo to y'all. Y'all did an amazing job. The show is amazing. I watched the dub because I personally like the dub voices, and it was just fantastic, man. So, like I said, I highly recommend it. And if you have your own opinions, feel free to share them in the comments. Excuse me. But I just wanted to. I'm like I said, this is gonna be a community. It's gonna be a family. I'm gonna keep repeating this. Is that I'm going to do more than just teachings, and God is opening me up to several things that I'm going to be doing. And tomorrow I'm probably going to be reading just like a couple chapters from the Bible, but we shall see. But anyways, may God's face shine on you, may his peace shine on you, may his love, mercy, and grace shine upon you, and just be blessed.